Right, okay, so I'll talk through it so I can remind myself what I'm looking at. So I'm on Hive 2, it's the 27th today, is that right? 27th of August?
Yeah.
And this is Hive 2, and I've got Ruby with me.
Hiya.
Say hello, Ruby. So, right, so this is what we call a super, alright, and it's the, I'll just take a little feel, we say heft the hive, you just tip it slightly to get a feel for the weight of it. There's no weight on there at all, so they're not filling that. That's what they would fill with honey. Okay. And they haven't filled it, and so I'll just take a look at one of these central, and I think we'll find, you can look inside here, come have a closer look up here, stand there, and it's a bit more comfortable, I think.
Yep, it is.
And on here, they've drawn out the comb, that's what they've drawn out.
Yeah.
But there's no weight to it because there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
But, so I don't know why they haven't...
when did you put these in?
Well, they've been in a few weeks, probably 4, maybe 5 weeks, possibly even longer. But neither hives are being filled. That's not to say they haven't got stores, but they're not storing it above the brood nest, and you'd expect them to. So I'm just going to tip this over here, and then there's the...
So the top one's called the super, and then the bottom one's called the brood.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Now these are called national hives, and that's just the to describe the shape of them and the sizing. So that's the super, and I'm now having to move this. Now this is the queen excluder, and the idea is that the queen is slightly larger than the house bees. These are the house bees, and they what I've got to do is make sure there isn't a queen on the underside of this.
So these house bees, they normally last 6 weeks, and they are the females.
Yes.
Great.
You've got it. I'll show you the males, and you'll be able to spot those. But I have got what's called a marked queen in here. So on the end I have a thing called a dummy board, and you can take that out just to give you a bit more room, so that when we take, and this is what every time you go into a hive you should do this. Now I remember from last time there were no, there was nothing on these first 2 frames, so this is frame 1 and there's still nothing on it. And
they produce the honeycomb type?
We give them a starter.
Okay.
And this starter is this thing called foundation. It's a bit warped on this one.
Okay.
But they've started, can you see, they've started to draw that out, as they call it. Amazing. It is. They're making them perfect hexagonal shape. And that's called worker. It's slightly smaller than the males are slightly bigger. Okay. And they're a different shape to the queen. But, right, so we're getting to the meat of it now. This is frame 3. Yeah. And we'll just have a little look on frame. Yeah, let me pass it to you. Now hold it by the lugs if you can. Okay. And what can you see?
So I can see loads of bees.
There's loads of bees. Okay.
And
usually if you hold it with the light behind you, the light is behind me.
Are you happy to have it in your face?
I will do, but you want to turn it the other way around so you can have the light shining into it.
Oh, like
that helps a wee bit. You don't have to hold it as high as that, whatever is comfortable, but it's simply look inside. Now I don't think there's going to be much on that side, so if you turn it down, now if you hold it tightly, now turn the hive vertically, turn the frame vertically, and then swing that through 180 degrees. Ooh. And then turn it back down that way, and then you can see the other side, and that's the way of rotating. Now we can see here we've got honey. This is sealed nectar or honey, and you can tell by the colour, and the slightly darker colour are these little blobs here, and these are called brood. So they're the young unhatched bees in there.
Brilliant.
So those are all female honeybees that we've got on there. We've got stores. Now sometimes you see pollen in here. They've got different colours. I can't see any myself, can you?
No, on the actual bees itself?
No, in the, sorry, I should have said in the, in each of these cells, but there's nothing in there. There's just a little bit of brood in there, or what we call sealed brood. Okay. So I'm just going through that. Right, so if you rotate it again, and then you can
What was the lighter sealed ones called again?
The lighter one is the honey.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And it was sealed.
Yeah.
And that's it. Are they You all right?
Yeah, I don't want to just drop it in
No,
there.
I know it's awkward with these awful gloves, but that's fine. So these are very passive,
Yeah.
lovely bees. These
Okay.
are. I don't. You notice I haven't used the smoke yet.
I thought the smoke, just having it there, was enough.
No, you're meant to. Well, you can give them a puff to. Now, what's happened here? I've got this frame which has got extra bit at the bottom. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So if I hold it, it's extended down because it's the wrong size frame. The lady that gave me the bees, she put the wrong size frame in because that's all she had. So
And they've just created that extra.
they've put this is what they've generated, the bees. I'm going to just place this down on here. Now the temperature today is 19 degrees, so it's not that warm, but it's warm enough to do an inspection. What you've got to do is keep this brood and young larvae at a constant temperature. We're getting towards the centre of the nest here, so at the moment there's more brood.
Yeah.
And where there's not brood, they may have filled it with larvae or with eggs. And I think there's eggs. I'm seeing eggs in there. I'll just have another little look to see if I can see it. The light is awful.
What's the temperature that they like to be kept at?
Well, they like it hot. So they keep the brood centre of the nest is always at 35 degrees.
Okay.
So that's quite warm right through the winter. So they huddle up to maintain warmth.
Oh yeah, this is what Jude said about the penguins theory.
Yeah, I think there is a bit of something in that. Now, what I'm looking for is to see if I can see any nastiness, and at the moment I don't. It all looks quite good coloured. They've mixed up some honey and a brood in here. Now you'll notice some of these will be doing what they call a waggle dance. They'll go along, do a little waggle, and then they'll go along and do another little waggle. Are they really doing that? If I spot it, I'll show you. And it's peculiar to watch. When it does, it tells the others where to go to get nectar.
Okay.
And they do a waggle dance. If you Google that, it's fascinating to watch what they're doing. But I can't see any of them doing a waggle dance, but I bet there'll be others that will.
And is that because I know there's honey everywhere, or like what, is that like open as opposed to sealed?
Yes, you can see in this stage it's still called nectar.
Okay.
What they've done, they've just brought it back, and they've emptied it into the cells here. Now, yes, I am seeing eggs on there. Now, if you look carefully in the bottom of that, take that frame. Have you got it?
Yeah.
Now, you need light at the right angle, but try and see in the bottom around here, there's these little tiny grains of rice. And if you could spot them, you've got good eyes.
I am still having a look.
It's difficult to get, you've got to get the angle right. It maybe not as high, maybe come down, or maybe get the angle. It is trying to see inside, or maybe perhaps they were down here.
And do they lie flat on the bottom, or is it more just like a bit
They do lie flat, yes. They start off vertical and then they fall over in a few days.
So I can see differences in the bases of some.
Yes. You can't.
Whether it's an egg.
It's difficult to tell.
Yeah.
Little grain of rice is kind of the description everyone uses, and it's about the most
And how
accurate
big do you reckon
description.
they are?
They're about 1 millimetre long.
Oh, okay, so very small.
They are tiny. And then they develop into a larvae, but we can't. I haven't seen any larvae on here, so we need to make sure there is. So shall I put it back?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, thank you very much. But these are lovely bees.
Yeah.
You notice they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
They're quite happy. And you've got to be very gentle with these, just slowly and surely. Don't what we call roll them. So if you lifting this, occasionally we're clumsy and we roll the bees as we pull the frame out. They rub up against the other frame and it rolls them. They don't like it. So have you seen this stickiness? They stick these frames together. It's called propolis, but it's just tree sap.
Okay.
And they generate this propolis. Now this is getting heavier now. We're getting towards the centre. This is frame number, what are we on?
4.
Frame number 5 actually, yeah, frame 5. So now I'm just having a look. I see lots more sealed brood. You can see the sealed brood, all that. and they've put honey in next to it, which is unusual. I don't know why they're doing that. Now there's an awful lot more sealed brood there. Now I've got a bit of a concern over this cell here. I don't like the look of that one. Can you see that particular cell
it's
there?
got some white stuff in it.
Well, that white stuff is a larvae.
Oh right, okay.
But it's what we call bald brood, which you can tell from the shape that just having one is not a problem. But now I can start to see larvae being. Are they larvae? Yes. In the top of that frame, if I hold it for you, and look up the top there, can you see little C-shaped white things?
Yeah.
That's the larvae of the. They're about. Well, more than about 3 days, 4 days old. Not
Can I
very
have
old.
another look if that's okay?
Of course. They're C-shaped and they're white.
Yeah. Okay. And why was there an issue with the bald brood?
Well, that's a disease, but if there's only one, I'm not too worried about, or just one instance of it, because the rest of that one down there doesn't look too good either. So I need to. There's a lot more larvae over here. Now this is quite a populated frame. There's an awful lot of brood all the way around, and it looks fine. So this looks fine to me. There's quite a few bees.
So that one there's a bald brood there as well.
As well, yes, that's two.
And then they're drinking or they're having some of the nectar or honey.
They may be placing nectar into it. They may be generating the nectar.
Okay.
That's what they may be doing. And there's eggs up the top here as well. So if you look on that frame, hold the frame if you can hold it carefully. And then up there, you might again see those. Again, if you get the light at the right sort of angle, can you see them? It's difficult to see, but they are there. They're little tiny specks.
Oh, I can see.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's
now
right.
I know.
Yeah. Now it's difficult to describe.
What I was looking at before wasn't it, but now I can see those.
So that's
they look like mini maggots.
Yes, they do.
Say.
Well, that's it.
Very mini.
They are indeed. That's a very good description. So that's it.
Cool.
So there we are. So that's on frame number 5. Now what I didn't do was count the seams of bees. What we do is count in between these two frames. We call that a seam. So I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seams of bees, which is now, last time I looked a week and a bit ago, it was 8. So they're reducing in size, this particular group, which is not good. But they've not produced anything in the way of honey, and they've got little. So I'm a bit worried about this. I think they're going to need feeding.
There's loads on this one.
There is loads on here. Now we ought to be keeping an eye out and see in case we can see a queen. In the middle of that, I've got quite a lot of. Let me just put this down again. Don't want to squash them. So in the middle here, and you'll be able to see this. There's lots of. I just move my back of my hand over, and we'll see inside there. There's more of the larvae, and they're unsealed. So they're less than a week old.
Okay.
Because it takes 8 days for them to seal up. That'll be on me. But oh look, lovely, the sun's out. I'm just looking to see if there's any waggle dancing going on.
So the larvae, they start off as those eggs that we've seen, and then they turn into larvae. Then they develop the cover over them.
Yes, they do, and it's all the house bees that do that. So they feed them.
Okay.
And they're a remarkable colony. They really are. What they do, how they operate, and it's all very altruistic.
Yeah.
Right. So look, there's more larvae in there. So that's a good sign. They all look healthy. Lovely colour. Nice pearly white colour. And so the little bit of bald brood that we noticed, I'm going to note it down in my records. But I'm not going to concern myself about it because they will take care of it. There's plenty of bees here to be able to take care of it. Anyway, right. So we'll get moving.
Yep.
This is frame number 6. I didn't see the queen on there. She is marked. I'll just do it as gently as I can. I've got these horrible gloves. These are not my Absolute favourite, that's for sure. Right, so let's move on. Gently up. Similar story. More eggs, and that's fine. There's lots of, we would call it brood in all stages. So you've got eggs, larvae, and seal brood, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm yet to see a drone actually.
What is can you see there's that one with some more yellow? Is that the pollen that they've
Which
got?
one you've got there? Oh yeah, on the legs.
Yeah.
That's pollen. In their collecting sacs.
Oh, no, okay.
So they on the back of their legs they collect pollen. They collect two things: pollen and nectar.
Okay.
And I mean, there's loads of them, aren't there? So I'm trying to find a drone, and yet I can't see a drone. I'm trying to find the queen, and I can't see the queen either. So
Did you say you've already marked her?
I have marked her, so she's got a little white blob on her back. So if you see a bee with a white blob, she is distinct.
Oh, I can see that dance that you're...
Yes, that's the waggle dance. You see it?
Yeah, there we are. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
And well, it's all in darkness.
Yeah.
How on earth do they... And they do it by angle of sun, they do it by the time of day. It's remarkable how they communicate where the good forage is. So what has happened, these are the house bees that look after their young, and they look after the nest.
Yeah.
And then the foragers have gone out, they're all coming in all the time. You notice them coming and going, and they all come in, bring back their stuff. Well, I'll roll them a bit. They're all hanging off the bottom there.
Oh yeah.
Off you go. I don't want to shake them off in case there's the queen on here. More brood, more eggs. I haven't seen the queen yet. Let's hope. I know she's here because I've seen eggs, and if I'm seeing eggs, they're less than 3 days old. So I know there is a queen, or was a queen, in the last 3 days. So I think she's got enough room to keep on laying, although there's eggs on this frame as well. So she's been busy, and they last for a few years, the queens.
Do they?
But you don't always want them. If you've got... Oh, there he is. There's the queen.
Oh yeah.
Can you see the...
Yeah, wow.
It's a messy blob, but look how big she is.
Yeah. That is very cool.
And that's what most people want to see, is the queen.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I didn't do a very good job of marking.
No?
But at least you can see her.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
you can appreciate the difference.
Yeah, but she moves much more slowly.
Yeah.
She's a big long bee.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the queen.
Brilliant.
Only one of those. So right, that was on frame number 8, I think. So we won't bother looking any further because I think that's enough on there. I'm going to shut it all back up. Oh, they get me a little bit agitated. I'll just give them a little puff of this. They'll all go down.
What makes you say that they're agitated?
Because they were starting to fly up, and it's really relative. And not like this lot. This lot's going mad here. So we'll have to talk them about. Right. So what I want to do is get rid of some of this excess propolis, excess wax. So this is just comb, and they've generated this. Oh, there's a dead bee. I'll just put it there for a minute, and well, then makes it easier to. Oh, come on, off you go. You all right? Are you getting warm?
No, I'm not getting warm at all. I just thought whilst you're doing that.
There's nothing much else to do, I'm afraid, at the moment.
No.
If you're happy to watch...
Yeah, I'm more than happy.
Oh, well, that's good.
I just didn't want all of them to get agitated and fly up into me.
No. Anyway, so hopefully you've joined the local bee club, but there's not much going on. Well, in the summer there would be. We'd have lots of meetings, but because of this COVID situation, we've been it's been difficult. We've had to book meetings, and normally it's just a free for all. We just pitch up.
Yeah.
But it's more difficult. So anyway.
I don't remember the girl's name, but there was a slightly blonde woman who said that she was having bees as well, and you knew her from an old
Oh
work.
yes, her name was, gosh, what's her name? Anyway, Susie.
Yeah, and she was telling me that Plumpton College have a course that you can attend, like
Yes.
a day course.
I did that myself.
Okay, is that how?
It was good.
So yeah, I had a look, and the next availability is next year, which is more than okay because I guess bee season's coming.
Yeah, you've got busy, much more important things to worry about, I would think.
Yeah. So I'm happy to do that next year.
I would. Now we're also trying to do it within our division, so
Right.
if you can hang on,
Yeah.
but it will be a lot cheaper.
Oh yeah.
So
When do you guys think that would be?
it's something we haven't done before, so it's I think we've got to see what the demand is and then go from there. So don't book anything just yet,
No.
but if you keep a sort of half an eye on the Facebook group, it'll get announced on there. And
Yeah.
if you're happy to
Yeah,
do that.
Well, I wouldn't be booking it until next year anyway.
No.
Yeah, very brave of Alex to take on those bees in that hive.
Yes,
That was, yeah, very, very brave.
but you've got to kind of start somewhere, and it's a bit like with being a doctor, I suppose. That will come a time when you'll have to.
Yeah.
You'll be at the sharp end,
Yeah.
won't there?
What is this part called? by the way?
Right. So we'll go through the bits of the hive, shall we?
Yeah.
Because I should have told you all of that. So at the bottom, I haven't put the. I've left my dummy board out. Right at the bottom, you've got a stand. All right. Then above it is a floor, and the floor has got it's open mesh, so
Oh, yeah.
it's just a floor. And then above that is this box where the nest was, the brood box. Then we've got a thing called a queen excluder. Remember that filter, the grill. And then we've got a super,
Okay.
which is for collecting the honey, and you can have quite a few supers. People have 5, 6 supers sometimes.
Yeah. Are you gonna try and put the dummy back in?
Yes.